Hey guys, Eric here from Bloke Games again. Just today going to be doing a video response to a video that I saw yesterday. It was a very impassioned video about something that I feel passionate about myself, so I thought I would chime in. It was by God Emperor Leto II, um, and the video was titled "Ye O Red Box," and basically during the video, he went on to he showed that he got his old TSR red box in, and how excited he was to open it up and go through it. And we was just talking about some stuff. It's really funny. I think he and I have kind of come from the same background. He mentioned like not being able to get copies because he didn't have the money for that and stuff like that of the players sheet on the back and everything, and just a lot of the type stuff that he remembered doing, the stuff that I remember doing. Um, Really kind of got me excited. And he also mentioned when he was on looking on Facebook, he wasn't finding a lot of love for the old red box. And I noticed that too when I first started getting on Facebook, which wasn't that long ago, but and looking at Dungeons and Dragons type stuff. I noticed that everybody really liked the Holmes edition. Holmes was kind of where it's at, which I'd actually never played Holmes, to tell you guys the honest truth. I grew up on Redbox and Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and I've played Holmes since, and I really like it a lot. But it was weird because there wasn't a lot of love going around for the Frank Mentzer stuff, and so since he put that out there, got me excited. I thought I would just share some love. I have my books here. I'm kind of embarrassed to show you these. I actually let somebody borrow when I was in sixth grade. This takes you back a long, long time ago. When I was in sixth grade, there was a boy who we were trying to get to join our gaming group, and he was kind of on the outskirts of our friend circle. And so I asked him, if he'd be interested in playing D&D, and he said, yeah. He said, but he didn't know where to start. So I loaned him my red box set, the entire thing, and he took it. And like a week went by, and he hadn't really mentioned it. So I'm like, hey man, what do you think about that Dungeons and Dragons? Do you want to get together and play sometime? And he was like, yeah, maybe. And then another week went by, and then suddenly he started dodging me. And, I could tell he wasn't dodging me. Finally, about 4 weeks later, been a whole month without having my set, I finally kind of cornered him in the hallway, caught him in the hallway, and I kind of cornered him and said, hey, look, man, you need to bring back my books and my game, because, if you're not going to play with us, that's fine, but you need to give it back. And he said, okay, I'll bring it back tomorrow. I'll bring it back tomorrow. Next day came, and I was, as soon as we got to school, all that was been on my mind all night was I gotta make sure he's got my game. And I walked in, and I saw him standing there, and he was holding some books in his hands. And I walked up to him. I could see that they were the red box books, but I said, "Where's my box?" And he said, "Oh man, I'm sorry. My brother he cut the box all up for the pictures, and my mom threw it away." And I could just feel my heart sink. I was like, "Oh," because I came from a very very money challenged family, I guess is the way you could put it. So there was like no getting a replacement. And so I just angrily kind of snatched the books and I said, fine. And I just walked away and, made a note, never to lend anything to him. In fact, I don't think I really talked to him the rest of the time we went to school together. But after I walked away, I started looking through my books, and either he or his little brother had actually cut some of the pictures out of my books too. Oh, just totally devastated me. But with that being said, I still have my original books that I had way back when. When I started playing Dungeons and Dragons, I was first introduced to it. It was through Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and so I checked out Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, but the books all seemed to cost a lot of money. I remember them costing like $19.99, and I was just like, there's no way. But I was at a yard sale, and I found a red box set for $2 and picked it up, and that's how I got my red box. And I didn't know the difference between Advanced Dungeons and Dragons and just Dungeons and Dragons. I thought this was all the same game. So when I started learning from you know, the red box version of Dungeons and Dragons. Which, here's my player's manual. A beautiful cover by Larry Elmore. Which, funny enough, I found out recently, Larry Elmore lives about 45 minutes away from me. He lives right here in Kentucky, so I'm in Louisville, and you know, he's just outside of Louisville, so he's about 45 minutes away. Which I was like, oh my gosh, the guy who created all those iconic images and all that art is, you know, like within an hour's drive. I just, you know, couldn't believe that. I thought that was really awesome. But you know, this is the original one. Got the character sheet on the back. You can see nice and stained with love. When I got this, you know, this whole thing just blew my mind. This picture right here, there we go. She was probably my first crush, which sounds really embarrassing to say, but there's something about her. I believe her name was Elena. I believe. Oh man, it's been a while since I've opened these up. And then this right here, oh, broke my heart. It was just devastating. But I remember just pouring through this book and, you know, trying to memorize everything I could and stuff. Remember the graph paper and all that. So it was very cool. I remember getting to the back and being like, oh, what are these games? And having no idea what they were or even where to find them. So that's one thing that I was excited about. Then the Dungeon Master's Guide. Now, the Player's Guide like taught me how to be a player, but I was like, oh, this is going to teach me how to be a Dungeon Master. I can run games. And this right here, to this day, I still use this map key when I'm making dungeons. I might have changed a couple of them in my head, but if you see any of my elementary versions of dungeons that I draw, they're right there. So I remember thinking that this was super cool. Picture of a dungeon master. I was like, oh, look at that guy. He's pretty bad. It starts off, it's got like a group adventure for your first time to go through. And first time we played, I was the dungeon master and a player, and one of my friends, James, played with us. And I remember we both died right here. The carrion crawler got us. So we went through, and I remember using, you know, I love this book. I remember using on the back panel, before there was any DM screens, I remember using this like all the time. So I just wanted to, you know, really break these out, kind of profess my love. I do love this Mentzer version. You know, I have nothing against the Holmes version. I don't even compare the two, to tell you the truth. But for nostalgia's sake, that was my D&D growing up. So I just wanted to chime in, give a little video response. And hopefully more people will join in and let us know if you like the Redbox D&D. Because for me, like I said, for me, that was D&D in the late 80s, early 90s. So I thank you for watching. Again, if you like any of my videos, like anything we talk about, please click the like button and the subscribe button. I hope you have a wonderful day and good gaming.